Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 11 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. My name is Nobody James, and with me, as usual, is Nobody John. How are you doing, Nobody
Me?
John?
I'm doing great, I think. I did. You laughing because
You're
earlier.
surprised. No, I'm laughing because you're like, me? You talking? Wait, me?
Me? Uh, no, things have been going great, except for the fact that I just cleaned up my cat's body weight in puke, so it smells like a tuna fish cannery in here. So,
Hey, that makes sense. That's just the nature of the business, right? You start a podcast, you run it for 11 episodes, and then everyone
boom,
just runs
puke.
into the room and throws up, or decides to run a marathon right above you, or your wife starts to watch a new television show at,
Mush.
max volume.
Oh, yeah, I guess that could happen. Nah, my wife's cool. She's in the den, so I don't have to worry about it. Here comes the puke victim. Now she's looking. She's like, "Where'd all that puke go?
I
Where'd it
left
all
it. I
go?"
left it there for a reason.
Right? Saving that for later. Hey, sweetie, you're all right. No. Week's been really great. Took the car down. My Madison, my wife's Fiat electric car down to the dealership. Spent 6.5 terrific hours sitting there in the lobby watching weird racing things, and had
Did you make an
some
appointment? Why did it take 6.5 hours?
Labor Day weekend. Apparently, all the staff guys were there, but there was only two in the shop. And I don't know what happened to the guy that had the. So I was scheduled at 8:30. They opened at 7:30. This other guy had his appointment at 7:30. I don't know what went wrong, but they had to keep on meeting with him, opening up a pamphlet, scribing stuff, printing off more documentation. I think that they broke something trying to fix something. Anyhow, so they slowly work on my car. I get the stuff, get out, go to the bar or the brewery, not a bar, brewery.
So,
It has great outside patio stuff. Charging the car, drinking the brews, eating undercooked hamburger from a food truck. No salmonella. I'm still here, baby. I'm still here. So,
for now,
yeah, I mean I could have like rotten intestines from the inside. It
yeah.
happens, but um, really pumped about the new graphics cards from Nvidia. Really pumped about AMD kind of like teasing us like, hey, save your money, which I already know. Still thinking about switching out the case to my computer. Um, just because it was a purchase, I'm invested in it. It's what they call money pit. There's nothing wrong with it. It's working fine, but it's not. I don't know. Everybody around me is building new computers and buying stuff, and I get that. I
Just
gotta get
making
it.
you
Gotta get
itch.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just making you itch a little bit.
yeah.
I'm kind of feeling the same thing there. I know what you gave me is good, but at the same time, us like kind of messing with it, and we were previously talking about how I've been upgrading some things for this particular podcast and buying some desks and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's kind of making me want to itch and just get an all-inclusive, 100% confident setup. That PC crapping out on me made me nervous, and I'm like, maybe I should start putting a little bit more money into it and building it up a little bit.
Well, let's put it this way. The power supply you have right now in there is a Dagger from FSP. Anyway, they're a great brand. It's gold. The one that you had cost $25, was a Priva, and it wasn't listed on the power rating scale. It wasn't white, it wasn't silver, gold, bronze, platinum. It works.
It was there. The thing is, though,
Hey, it lasted 2 years.
my construction ability that makes me a little hesitant. Like I haven't been tapping into the Doom Eternals or any of the other online, not I'm sorry, the Steam games that I picked up because I'm just kind of nervous to kick the thing on and leave it running for any abundant amount of time. It's not so much that I think the power supply is going to fail or that it's hooked up wrong. It's that these wires are a ticking time bomb. As soon as they settle, they'll settle right down into those fans and get tangled up.
No, they'll be fine. The only thing that I would have concern is that if the power supply damaged anything else post facto. So I say go ahead and do some
Go
burn-in
crazy.
tests, play a ton
It's
of games on it, and if it fails, we still have warranty on the rest of the components, which is great. So by the time I get up there, we're gonna clean up that wire mess
I'm
for sure.
excited to see it. I'm excited to
What?
see
Oh
it.
yeah, we're gonna make it so sexy. Gonna cable management 2.0. Sorry,
Well,
I
no, you're
digress.
fine. You're fine. You got a little wacky with it. John, this is an extremely, exciting time of year for me because as I'm rocking right now, we got the Packers starting up. We've got the NFL getting things kicked off this Thursday with you know who, your Chiefs. That's why we're
Yeah.
recording a day early. So we're going to take a look at that game tomorrow night, or at least I am. I assume you're going to be in the same boat watching it as well.
I could watch it commentary with you while I watch it.
We got to figure out how to make that thing work because that would be a lot of fun actually. But I love football, and I will say this. I'm just going to go into this for just a second here. Um, Growing up, I never really cared too much about the sport. It's one of those things. I grew up in Missouri. My mother was a diehard Chiefs fan, or at least she became so wherever Joe Montana became the quarterback for the Chiefs for that whopping 2 seasons, I think it was. Coming off the 49ers, he was the golden boy and didn't really have much to work with. But either way, um, met my wife. We've been together for 15, going on 16 years, something in that ballpark. And whenever I got with her, she's from Green Bay, and that's where I currently live because she's, again, not necessarily born, but raised there or here, I guess I should say. And it kind of sucked me into the sport a little bit. It got me more involved in it. I'd say back in 2010 when the Packers won the Super Bowl is kind of when I started paying attention. I'm sorry, their most recent Super Bowl win of 2010 got me to pay a little bit more attention to the sport. So it got me wrapped up in it, and sadly, I got invested and jumped the Chiefs train over to the Packers train. And
And
living in
it's
Green
been
Bay,
downhill for the Packers ever since you
it's
jumped
it's
trains.
we've had 2 out of 8. I'm sorry, 2 out of 10 bad seasons. It's nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, we had Rodgers get a broken collarbone a couple seasons back, and it's been rough. But they've been a playoff team, like I said, at least 7 out of the 10 years, I do believe. Um, but I will say I have an affinity for the Chiefs as well. So over the course of the next, I don't know, as many shirts as I have podcasts, you'll be seeing me rocking some sports gear. I might throw some Chiefs gear in there too. I have at least 3 Chiefs shirts. So I've got a jersey, I've got a Super Bowl champion shirts because you guys pulled one out last year, and then I've also got a Packers Chiefs split, but you'll only see the top halves, which is the Chiefs side because my mother had it made for me. So it's
That's
Chiefs
funny.
and Packers. So I'm really excited to get this show on the road and see what we can do this year because it's going to be interesting circumstances.
I'm I'm interested to see what happens with the whole industry. Um, I've seen a couple of soccer games for the Champions League or Champions Cup in Europe, and it's different. So I know America isn't as locked down, for better or worse. I don't know what the stadium setup's going to be. I don't know if that's going to differ state to state. I think everybody agrees it's a bad idea to get a a bunch of drunk dudes and ladies together, spreading diseases around, but it'll happen. So
I do agree. I think that it's a bad idea to get the people in the stadium, but I like the idea that they're still running the games
yeah,
because at the end of the day, it is entertainment and it's relatively small groups of people getting together. And for the amount of money they make and for the amount of time that they have on their hands, they should be able to quarantine enough to put on a show. And that's
or
what
you
we're looking
think
for.
we're gonna have like little hot pockets, little like groups of like 5 to 7 guys. One guy shows up, shouldn't have because he is feeling ill or something like that, and then it spreads to 7 more people and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't keep up with a lot of American sports, but I mean, with the basketball and the baseball that's been going on, I mean, this is the thing. Like I said, I was born and raised a Missouri man, moved up to the Wisconsin side, and it's real easy to transition for basketball. So I can be a Bucks fan because there is no comparable or any NBA Missouri basketball team, right? So I
Hmm.
can move up here and just root for the Bucks. I have nothing against it. And now that we have Antetokounmpo, they're playing really well. Now, they did just get eliminated by Miami Heat in the playoffs, but hey, this is 2 years running. We got it. We'll get it together. We'll see what we can make happen. As far as baseball goes, it's a tough world to live in, right? Because as a Missouri boy, my card colors run red, right? I am through and through a Cardinals fan. I enjoy watching some Cardinals ball. I primarily enjoy attending the games live. I'm not as much of a television like watching the game on the TV just because there's so many games and they are so long. It's hard to keep track. But I follow the standings and I watch what they do. Moving here, it's infectious, like I said, so it makes me want to root for the Brewers. The problem is that they're in the same division, and you can't root for two of the same team in the same division. It just doesn't work out. Um, then with football, at least we have the Chiefs on one side and the Packers on the other, so I can still root for both teams because there's nothing I want more than a Packers Chiefs Super Bowl to mirror that Super Bowl one and just see the showdown of the Titans, especially with
Almost had
Rodgers.
it last
I
year.
I know. Well, I mean, we had to go up against the 49ers and completely shit the bed on the Packers side. But hey, you guys took them to task and you showed them what for. That would have been amazing. I'm 100% confident that if it would have been a Packers Chiefs Super Bowl, the Chiefs would have taken it, which it still would have been fun to watch, and I would have just been excited to get the experience to see
I
it
think
happen.
just the dynamics between us, our group, you would have taken a lot of flack just because you'd probably be the only Packers guy there. Like in our group for a conversation or even at the game itself, but it still would be a lot of boisterous, back and forth. It'd be
It
fun.
would have it would have been interesting. But John, have you had a chance to take a look at the schedule? I got a little bit of a setup here. We'll try to run through it fairly quickly. But if you look
I
at your
haven't looked at the
schedule for the
schedule at
Chiefs
all.
and Packers, okay. So we're going to play a little bit of a matchmaking game here and just see who you think is going to take it, and we're going to get an overall feel for how your feelings are on how this season's going to turn out. Again, and we've got it for the Chiefs and the Packers. We'll try to run through as quickly as we can. It doesn't have to be an all-day kind of situation. And I know, again, and I'm the same way. As far as the sports go, we might keep a good eye on our teams, and we don't know the insides and outsides of every single other team. So we're not going to sit here and be able to talk about how uh, Tony Montoya of the Los Angeles Lakers can do seven layup. I don't know. I don't know anything else. I know my
Layups here
team and
like
not much else.
basketball.
Yeah, I kind of switched gears there. Show my true ignorance.
How many
But
up downs can he do?
I'm going to do a quick run through of these games here, and I want you to tell me how you feel like your season's going to turn out. You at least know the quality of the teams that you're going to be playing to some regards. So we're going
Yeah.
to take some bets, um, non-fiscal. Don't get excited.
Well, hey, listen. Just because a bet isn't non-fiscal doesn't mean it's not fistful.
That's true. We're going to do some fistful bets, and
Oh.
we're going to see where we think we're going to net out here. So, first and foremost, we have the opening game of the season for the Super Bowl champions of 2000. What do they do? 19, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Um, the Chiefs playing against the Texans. Game one tomorrow night. That's a strong opening. Who do you think is going to take that game?
I'm gonna say like right off the cuff, Chiefs. Um, Now, in all reality, I really don't know the caliber of how either team is going to play because of the whole COVID situation. Practice has been kind of short. I know there's been some precautions on there. Might have reluctance on a few players that could have been out there. Um, I'm still going to say Chiefs though.
And this is the big dynamic that I think that we can't get away from. It's the simple fact that the fans aren't going to be in the stands at least for the first couple of games.
Yeah, so like the Chiefs used to have.
The
You say,
loudest stadium in the NFL.
well, I'm not just saying
That's a
that, but
fact. Yeah.
yeah, no, I know that, but I mean, like, they have that kind of like, let's drown them out. We can do this. And I know a lot of other teams like to tout that they got that, but we're a bunch of loud over here, okay?
So I've been to Arrowhead once, and I watched the Packers play the Chiefs, and I'll say you got some pretty nasty fans out there. It makes it
They're
a
not
little
Raiders
interesting.
quality, but
That's true.
yeah,
That's
they're
true.
reaching down in that barrel. You'll find them.
And they get a little wild. So you go out there in the green and gold, and people have something to say to you. Where at least in my experience, and I've been to probably nearly a dozen Packers games at this point, and I work 3 blocks away from the stadium. I'm able to get out there and mingle with the fans. We got some pretty friendly fans. We'll talk some stuff, but at the end of the day, we're going to invite you over to have a cheese curd and a beer.
Oh,
In
anytime.
in Kansas City, they'll tell you to go back home and have a cheese curd and a beer. They don't need you clogging up their stands. So
You want to shit in our toilets? Get the.
that's the that's the one that is the one dynamic though. The stadium pumping in uh, the fans, and I think it's just going to really mix up some of the dynamics that we run into in this season. But They are going to be able to pump in some sounds. I don't know if you saw that, but apparently they can go up to, I think it was like 80 decibels. In
Yeah, and I mean, like, are they going to deploy that app? I know they're working on some apps, some Israel company about like, you get on your phone or whatever, you sign up, and that would be a great way for the NFL to give like some premium stuff for their premium subscribers to ESPN and stuff like that. To be like, oh, you want to be heard? We'll crank your voice up. If you're a premium subscriber or something like that.
that's the
I don't know
silliest
if
thing.
they're doing that, but I know they have speakers and you can shout into your phone or whatever and hear it on the like it'll play in the stadium. That is the
Sure.
thing.
They might as well give it a shot and just see what happens. I anticipate that this goes season long though, and we end up with no fans in the stands, which is going to massively hurt the game. But it's not hurting my excitement. I'll tell you that right now. But to
I mean,
get back into,
our lineup's pretty good. It's
hey, I got the whole thing. We're going to do the whole
well,
rundown.
I'm
I
just
need
saying
to know.
I'm just saying like our
No,
roster on the team. I'm
you
looking
just
at it right now,
okay.
and we got a lot of veterans from last season on there. A couple new faces, it looks like. But I mean, like our big guys on there. Schwartz is on there. Sherman's on there. I mean, Williams is on there. I mean, Thompson did some stuff last time as well. Ward's on there. Watkins. I mean, like these guys are good and I would love to see them perform again. I'd like to see some people step a little bit, like Reimers. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I think he did a couple good stops, but I want him to pull out something. I don't remember Kaiser at all. I mean, Chris Jones. You can't. I mean, he's on the roster. You can't get rid of him. So I mean, like, there's some good people on here,
You
and I
you guys you guys still have a team, so it'd be nice to see how that one comes out.
yeah. Well, I guess if you're gonna be like that, yeah, sure. We have a team. We have a team that has history together. They're good.
Sure. I'm saying that in a good way. I think that you got a good set of players. So I'm going to take your side on this one. I think opening the gate, I think we're going to see the Chiefs take this against the Texans. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be awkward, but the one opening act is again, it's going to be an Arrowhead, and it's going to be against Mahomes, a fresh-faced Mahomes with
Why you gotta say it like that?
a whole new contract with a whole lot of money.
Listen, the guy, he's married now. He,
Oh, thank God. In my experience, though, that tends to affect the game in a negative way. So we'll see what happens. All right, going up with game number two. Let's start rattling these off. Chargers versus Chiefs. This one's going to be away.
well, it's always been difficult against the Chargers to begin with, but
For some reason, they tend to go about 50-50 with the Chargers, and
yeah,
that's weird.
that's why
They
it's always
should.
a toss-up. I'm like,
So where are you
and I don't
going
know,
there?
huh?
Where are you going there?
I'm gonna say Chargers, honestly.
All righty. And
I know one of our buddies would disagree. He said Chiefs always start off strong and then they peter off at the end, which is typically true, but
I'm going to go with you on this one. Actually, I'm sorry, I lied. I'm going to go against you on this one. I think they're gonna take the big O out of the gate here. Um, because again, I think they tend to go 50-50 with the Chargers. They have a little bit of trouble, and I think they're going to falter after a tough game, and we'll see what happens. Um, we'll see if I can even decipher my notes after the end of this. I'm going to try to keep this together and come up at the end with a tally, and we'll see how we fared.
okay.
Ravens versus the Chiefs.
Bye Ravens.
What?
Yeah, this
You
year.
think so?
Goodbye Ravens. They're
I'm gonna
fast. They've always been fast. Oh, I mean, like as far as I can remember, which is a very
uh,
long. They've been.
again. I'm gonna default to the Ravens. I think that they're still gonna have a team. They got shafted last season, and I think we're going to see something happen. I think that quarterback's got one more season in him before he gets beat up a little bit too much to be able to be an effective player. We shall see. All right, Patriots. Chiefs versus Patriots.
Oh, they're gonna be hungry, aren't they? Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs as well. They have a whole new dynamic over there, so we'll see what they can pull out. Here's your first matchup for the Raiders, Chiefs versus Raiders. This is with the Chiefs at home.
Oh, Chiefs.
Yep, I'm going to go with you on this one as well. And I want to be completely clear. I don't know nothing. All I know is the teams and how they play to some degree. I can't name any more than maybe Carr for the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm
So
not like pulling up statistics or anything. Like, there's just a lot going on. I
No,
got
you're
sucked
fine.
into Battle for Middle uh, Shadow of War last night
See, you
until
don't
like
even know the name
midnight.
of the game.
Yeah,
Bills versus Chiefs. Bills versus Chiefs.
we're going with the Chiefs.
So right now you have the Chiefs shutting out. I'm just saying.
No, because I said the second one was the Chargers were going to take it.
No, you said the Chiefs.
No, the Chargers are taking it. You said the Chiefs are taking it on the second game, game two. We'll rewind this. I can pause this right now.
Hold on.
Stop.
I'll make the adjustment. I did write it down the wrong way.
So are you
Like I
not
said,
saying the Chiefs are taking it in
I was
game
thinking
two?
I was thinking the Chargers would take it, but I do want to go opposite of you on
Why? The
that one.
Chargers are taking it. I think
I
they are.
just I just think we'll see. Like I said, I want a little bit of disparity here. I don't want it to all be sunshine and rainbows. We got to be a little bit
It's not. That
divisive.
Ravens game is going to be tough.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my plan. I think that's going to work out. Broncos versus Chiefs. Chiefs are away.
Hmm. Broncos, huh? I think Broncos will take it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's go with the Chiefs versus the Jets.
Bye,
I,
Jets.
yeah, I think we're both in agreement there. I just think they need a little bit more time to rebuild. They have nothing going on. We'll see. Chiefs versus Panthers.
That one, I don't know. I need a coin to toss on that one.
I'll go first. I'm going to put it with the Panthers on this one. I think it's going to be one of the weird upsets of the season.
I already got that with the Broncos. So
That's true.
Chiefs me.
Okay, I'll chief you up. All right, let's go with now. This is a bye week, and then you run into the Raiders versus Chiefs. We're back at the Raiders.
Oakland, they still got nothing. They're just mad, so they're taking wild swings. They're out.
So you're
So
taking the
Chiefs me.
Chiefs on this guy, huh?
Yeah. Oakland, come on. What do they got?
Let me see. I took the Chiefs the first round. I'm gonna take the Raiders this round. They typically don't fare so well against the Chiefs, but I think they're gonna pull one out this season. We'll see here. And then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the newly founded Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. I'm excited to see them play.
Do you think he's energized his team? Like, hey, we've got Brady. Or are they
Yeah,
like
they're gonna play better. They've had two or three mediocre to good seasons, and then previously it was a bad showing for the Buccaneers for a while there. So now that they have Tom Brady, I think it will add a little bit of oomph to their step. I'm going to predict that they're going to go somewhere in the ballpark of at least 10-6. That's just a guesstimation on my part. I generally have no idea, but I just feel like with that Patriots magic and that Brady magic, I think they're going to be able to eke out a playoff.
okay, I think I honestly think
And
that
it's away for the Chiefs. So
Chiefs got it. Brady can't suck
Chiefs
down enough V8.
the Chiefs tend to be able to play against Brady decently well. I don't know that their systems are going to be the same, but if Brady plays the same game, I think they have a chance of taking them down. And I, I'm inclined to agree with you on this one. I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. Dolphins versus Chiefs. This is an easy call. I don't even need to ask you.
Chiefs, why even think the Dolphins are coming
Saints
down?
versus Chiefs. I'll take the lead. I'm going to go Saints.
You're going Saints, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so hard because I haven't been keeping up with everything post COVID. Historically, I would say Saints, but I'm gonna say Chiefs again because I saw our lineup and I know that that's a great. I'm sorry, they're great.
Ready? Falcons. Chiefs versus Falcons.
Chiefs versus Falcons.
This one's a
Um,
coin toss for me, but I'm going to go Chiefs on it.
I mean, I'm gonna say Falcons.
Really good choice. Okay. And then last but not least, we have another matchup against the Chargers.
This time we take them out.
Taking the Chargers. Nope, taking the Chiefs. Sorry. All right.
So you're gonna mess it up again. You're trying to juju me, like jinx me out or something. I don't know what it is.
So again, hold on. You said you're going to take them out again. The first round, you said that the Chargers are
No,
going to
I
take
didn't
it.
say
Okay,
take him
okay.
out again. This
You
time we're
just.
gonna take him out.
Oh, I see. I see. I misunderstood you. So you're saying that we're going to go. I say we. The Chiefs are going to go 12-4.
Ooh, 12-4,
That's what you're going with.
not 13-3.
12-4, John.
I think 13-3. I don't know
And
where I
you're
lost one. I lost one. It's gonna be a fluke, and that's where I'm gonna get it. 13-3. That's my final answer. I'm not phoning a friend.
well. I'm writing down both numbers, and then we'll forget what it was. I'll have to go back and watch the episode. I ended up on a different note. I
Goodbye,
went
tree.
11-5. Chiefs
11 and
11
5.
5. Yep.
Boy, Debbie
So that's
Downer.
that's going to be an interesting. I mean, that's still playoff team potential right there. So I think you
Potential. We got
guys,
that. We got that in the uniform.
yeah, a couple good seasons. Let's just slowly roll. All right. We still need to get Mahomes hurt one time,
I got
and
Patty. Patty's on there. He's been hurt. That's why we had to play with Matt.
more.
Yeah, Moore, the high school teacher, coach.
Yeah, but I
And he
mean
did
that
all
was. I
right.
mean,
He did a
he
couple
missed
of
what,
games. He
two
did all right.
games? He missed 2 games. I'm talking. Give him a good knockout. Get him sacked a
Why are
little.
you gonna hurt? Why are you gonna like prey on people like, oh yeah, I hope he gets hurt.
I don't hope he gets hurt. I want Mahomes to succeed. I just want to see what happens after he gets shaken to his core
Yeah,
because he
like a
has yet to
baby.
get
Got
bumped.
it. Baby face Mahomes, shake him like a baby. I heard it from you. You disgust me.
Moving on. We're going on to the Packers schedule. We'll fly through this and then we'll move on to what's been entertaining us. But John, Packers lineup is one of the it's pretty difficult. I'm not excited about it. We'll see how this goes. Rodgers a little older. He's a little bit more shaky. He is going to try to revamp his play style this season and get back to the roots of having fun with the game and not be Mr. Business, Mr. Negativity and groany McGrony pants. And we'll see if he can pull it out and really change the game. That's the thing that excites me the most about it. Then we have a little bit of a shake-up, a few drop players, a few picked up players. And we'll see if we can make a game happen. But out of the gate, we are going to play the Vikings away.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that we are going to lose that game out of the gate.
I would agree.
So I, for one, am going to be going Vikings. John agrees. Then we're going to be playing the Lions at home. So we're going the pack on that.
That's right. Beer and cheese.
It's not very often we lose to the Lions. It's not very often anybody loses to the Lions, really. But whatever. Then we play the Saints away. I am again going Saints.
Yeah.
All right, a resounding yeah from John.
I was just thinking. I was like, man. I answered the Chiefs are gonna take the Saints out in the first one. I was like, ugh.
No, that's okay. The Saints are a good team, and it's going to be rough. The only thing we got to hope for is the I don't know. They got an aging quarterback. He's coming around the bend. We'll see if he slows down a bit.
He's no Rufflesburg.
Well, is he? I think he's got one season left in him.
I think he's negative one seasons, but okay.
Yeah, I mean we got no Steelers on either of our rosters, so that's a good sign. Then we have the Falcons. We are playing them at home, and a little bit of a backstory there. Just a brief backstory. You can't start the yawning
I'm
already,
sorry. I'm
John.
like
It's
out of
early.
coffee. I need some
It's go get a refill. Oh my
so
God,
people can watch me go away.
ridiculous. So as John walks away, it looked like he took his pants off. Welcome back, John.
Oh, it's good to be back, James. Appreciate the welcoming.
Yeah,
Could have used some flowers or something. It's always
that's weird.
good to feel
Actually, go check your
appreciated.
doorstep, John. How weird would that be if there were just flowers there?
I'd be like, mother.
Or even worse, like a I don't know, like a hummingbird's head.
I have a story about that if you want to hear about it at some
Yeah,
point.
go for it.
Okay, it's
I'm
not
ready
a
now.
hummingbird. Roll up to work. It's 7:30
It's a
a.m.
baby.
It's a baby. I'm like, I'm a dad. No. So roll up to work, get ready to walk in, and I'm talking to my boss slash friend Bill, and I look over, and there's a bird head on my truck. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like some kids doing it? He's like, oh no, cats will do that stuff. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen cats.
Exactly. exactly where my mind
decapitate birds. So anyway, there's a tower that I climb. We do internet and stuff like that that's next to the building. So I open up the gate in there because we're doing maintenance, and there's another bird head. And this day, I've got to climb up the
went. Okay, so
tower.
somebody got married, but instead of bird seed, they threw severed bird heads.
No, yeah. No, so I get up to the top of the tower and it's nothing but bird bits, guts, heads, beaks, legs, feathers. Apparently there's a hawk that was like, this tower is great hunting zone, and he was literally taking out birds all around the block, the neighborhood, and throwing their heads on my truck because maybe he doesn't like me or something. It's like, yeah, I'll show you. Horse in your bed when you're sleeping, or I'll just put a bird head on your truck. So anyhow, it was creepy, and the top of the tower was disgusting. It had so much guts on it. I was, ugh.
At at very least, I'm incredibly disturbed. At very most, I'm a little turned on. All right, we're going to get back into this then. So we ended on the Falcons. As I was going to say, a little bit of backstory. Not that it's too crazy, but I'm going to say that they're our fourth most recent rival. Number one, obviously, the Bears. Number two are going to be the Vikings. Number three are going to be the Seahawks. And then number four, newly found rivals, the Falcons. We're just making every team hate us, and we're
Yo,
hating
why
every
do you guys
single.
have so many rivals?
I mean, the Chiefs. What do you guys have? You got literally the Raiders.
Everybody hates the Raiders. We're the
Yeah,
good
but
guys. You don't
I think
understand. We're the good guys.
that's
No,
not
yeah,
true.
Oakland
That's the
hates
Chiefs.
us. Their fans, everything.
And I think the Chargers are easily your number two, but I don't think you guys have any more. I think that we've just been burned a couple times by some. Obviously, we have the Bears, we have the Vikings, and those hate us because we're in the same division and we're consistently better than them.
I don't think the
Um,
Chargers are our rivals, but they do make a great game every time. I mean, like gameplay wise.
you got that Rivers rolling around. Either way, then we got to buy, and then we go up against the Buccaneers. How do you feel like that one's going to go? We're going we're going
Viking or
against
not the Vikings.
the Vikings are going to win. The Bucks.
Vikings, they roll up in there. No, that's gonna go Packers.
Interesting choice. I'm going Buccaneers. Texans
Where are you playing?
in. We're away.
Yeah, Texans are taking it.
That's what I said too. I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a good look for us this season. I'll count it up here in a second, but it's not pretty. Vikings round two.
Vikings are still gonna take it.
You think they're going to take it this time too?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think you learned anything.
I'm going Packers on that one because we're at home at least. 49ers, the rematch of the century.
49ers take it.
I agree with you completely. Although I do think I'm interested to see how the 49ers fare, but I think they're going to lose a little steam. I think they're going to run a
Yeah, they're
little
not
bit
gonna
out of
be as
gas.
hot.
I'd be interested to see us take them, but we're away again. It's going to be a rough one. Jaguars.
They're gonna win.
Oh my
It's gonna be
God,
an
I
upset.
completely disagree with you, but hey, I'll give
That's
it
all
to you.
right. That's why it's an upset, Mr.
Here you
Packer.
go. The Colts.
I'm gonna give it to Green Bay.
Yeah, well, you have to. Bears. The Bears.
Again, the Bay. Bay
Okay.
takes it.
I,
My
I
Bay
agree
Bay.
with you. I agree with you. Eagles. This is a good one too. This will be a fun one.
Eagles are gonna take it.
I disagree. We like to shut them out and we like to make them feel it every time they come
Oh, are
through.
they playing home?
We're here. Yeah.
Yeah, still, I'm not changing my answer.
Well, you can't because I wrote it down. Lions, round two.
Bay.
Yep. Good choice. Panthers.
This time, I think Bay's taking it.
This time.
Yeah, last time didn't I say Panthers took it?
Well, we didn't play the Panthers, but you did. I'm gonna check. Let me check back on what the Panthers, how you voted. There they are. You put it down as the Chiefs taking it against the Panthers.
Yep.
Titans, playoff team last season. You guys took them out, right?
I don't remember.
I went with the Packers. That one's going to be a little bit of an upset for the Titans, but I think that we're going to pull it
I
out.
don't think so. I think it's just going to be skimmed by the hair of their chinny chin chin.
But who's taking it?
Titans are taking it.
Taking the Titans. Alrighty, and then last but not least, it's the rematch for the Bears.
Yeah,
This
but
one's in
how many injuries do you guys have at this point?
by that game,
Yeah.
probably 11.
Okay, so the Bears take it this time.
We have a tendency to have some fragile players on our team. So let me do the count up here. John, I was a little bit more optimistic than you, and I put us coming out as a 10-6 team. And
Yep.
I do think that we will probably, I feel good about that actually, and I think that we will barely miss the playoffs, but we will miss the playoffs, I think.
Gotcha.
That's me. John, how do you think you fared?
I think I gave them what was it, 7-6, 7-7.
That would be 14 games, John.
Well, don't you guys? Do you guys get a bye?
Yep. Everybody
Yeah.
still plays 16 games, John.
Whatever. Well, then fine. You guys drop out. Nah.
You went 7-9. You
Seven and
said we
nine.
go 7-9. So
Oh, I'm
we will see.
sorry.
No, it's fine. You don't pick how it goes. You just help pick how it goes. So
It's a good thing that you guys are going 6-7.
wait, I guess with COVID, that's a possibility, right?
I don't know, man. Honestly, like, well,
But
shut it down again. And that
it's
game's
just like
canceled.
it's
What are you gonna do?
just like the MLB. Whenever somebody gets sick, they just put it on the back burner and then they make it up later. We'll see how that one turns out. The Cardinals had to set some out, but for today, we're going to put a pin in the sports. We'll get back to that and
Thank
we'll play with
God.
that a little while later. So, with that being said, John, what's been entertaining you this week?
What's been entertaining me? Staying up with the news, watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips lately. There's a guy on there, Riley. He has this weird '70s cop porno mustache, and it is this guy's he's hilarious. I love his dry, sarcastic sense of humor. So, and it also plays to my nerd side, not my porno '70s stash side, but and they do tech news. They do a lot of like pseudo stuff on that. So I find that entertaining to watch that. I've been watching a lot of like battery technology videos as well. Um, Boys season two.
Did you watch it?
I've watched 2 episodes. 2 episodes. I can't get my sister to commit on it, and I knew you were busy, and I was like, screw it.
You didn't even talk to me, John.
I
That's
know. Well,
offensive.
you said I'm out of it. I forgot Madison or something. I forgot wherever you said you were.
We made a plan to sit and watch that together.
Well, you
And you
watched
went off.
too. Catch up, and then.
No, I've already watched all three of the episodes. And so far, if we want to touch on the boys for just a second,
Whoa, whoa,
boys
whoa!
season.
Isn't this about what I've been entertained by?
No, no, we typically try to switch off every now and
Fine,
then,
let's talk
and
about it.
you get a little wild. Run off all of your
Now
ideas, but
remember, I'm only 2 episodes in, so
I'm not going into any spoils, but I'm going to give you my first blush impressions, as I've talked about previously, and I'm going to withhold any kind of a score on this season overall. So I'm not going to say if it's garbage, good, great, blank, gaga, any of that crap. But I'm going to reiterate, The Boys season one, gaga, amazing, amazing, amazing show. This season so far, I'm very entertained. I'm very invested. I am I am enjoying the show, but there's a couple of things that are happening, a couple of positions the characters are being left in that are not really grabbing me, and namely, Starlight um, and Billy the Butcher. There's a couple of pieces of the puzzle that are just not quite fitting perfectly for me. So there's like confrontation that you see between Billy and the lead character. What is his name? His name's Huey.
Huey, yeah, Huey. John C. Riley's in there. What the
No,
hell?
unless he's a voice for something. But
Maybe.
I've never seen him in the show. But
Okay.
either way, the dynamic between Billy the Butcher and Huey, I'm not in love with over this season. I do like the inclusion of Stormfront, I think it is, and I also like Homelander's dynamic, not knowing where he fits in with the company, and the inclusion of the new head of the company, or not the new head, the head of the company that's taken the place of Madeline Stillwell, I believe is her name. Elizabeth Shue's character has been Spoilers, taken out by Homelander, and they've got a new big bad in place, and he's just kind of figuring out his place. So that's my overall impression so far. Very entertained. I think it's a good show still. I am just something is just not adding quite up to me. How
It's
are
the
you feeling about it?
too much drama going on.
I like the drama. I just think it's just
Well, I don't. The serious drama I don't care for. So like, we've got that new superhero in the mix, the lady, um,
Stormfront.
Stormfront. Uh, she pisses me off, honestly, when she rolls up there, and I can't tell if she's gonna be. I think we're gonna end up with a power dynamic, a struggle going in there. Old guard versus the new. People are going to take sides, and I think we're going to have a civil war, like an Avengers Civil War type situation that's going to end up a dynamic going to take place. And I'm interested to see who comes out on what side. And
I'm
I can't
excited that
tell
you
if
said
she's good
that.
or bad.
I'm excited that you said that because first of all, you need to see episode 3, of course, and I think that'll help answer some of those questions.
So it is going to
But
happen.
I love the idea of what you're proposing here because I think a good superhero battle is just what this show needs to have one. Because I mean, if you take a Stormfront versus a Homelander, where you don't know where and how you feel about either of those characters, it's oh my gosh. Have you Man, you got to okay. I'm remembering some scenarios in season 2, and you got to hit me up after you watch episode 3 because there's some things that Homelander does that makes you cringe.
Everything
It's wild. What's the most wild thing you've seen him do so far?
besides let everybody die on the plane.
But that's something that as I was rewatching episode 1 or season 1, I'm sorry.
Get back or I'll melt you with my eyes. Or
See, he lets them die there because he realizes there's nothing he can do to save the plane, right? But in episode 1, he takes the plane out of the sky with children on board. Like he
oh, there's like
kills
one kid on the plane.
either way. He murders those people
Well,
for money.
they talk about what was it like? Oh, and yeah, I know it's going to be a spoiler for our views, but he was talking about like 30. They were talking about like 35% casualty rate, civilian casualty rate as acceptable when they go into combat. You remember that? Did you
Are you
not want
talking
me to bring
season
that up? Season two,
season 2?
yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. No. That's not a super spoiler by any stretch of the imagination. But I
Who?
think
What's the one? Um, the ninja guy.
Black Noir.
Yeah, the Black Noir, which is black. But anyhow, um, I wonder what his superpower is.
I don't know, but he gets like half blown up in the first episode.
Yeah, 'cause he
And
take. Yeah.
you see it makes me wonder under there is he just skeleton like a Ghost Rider kind of situation. But
You know what? Is he like a Deadpool?
yeah, I mean that's the vibe I'm getting because the next time you see him, I mean this is
I
the
haven't seen him
intro
yet.
to season 2. It shows him again sitting at a table a little bit later, and he's back to normal. But granted, it's his suit, so maybe he just changed his suit. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still very entertained by it. I think it's still good. I am just the dynamics aren't quite adding up, and I don't particularly like seeing Billy the Butcher and Huey at odds, and I don't like Starlight's. Um, I understand spoilers, mild spoilers, that she's playing kind of the double agent scene, um, but I don't like her complete buy-in where now she's got the fake hair, she's got the corporate produced costume on, and she's just 100% solely playing the game. So we shall see.
I
I'm gonna go back and rewatch these 3 episodes because
I
Friday the new episode comes out.
I do like Billy the Butcher being Huey's dad kind of figure. You know, and
I like that.
Simon Pegg being the pacifist pushover dad.
Right, I like it, but I don't like them at odds with each other. That
Yeah, I know. I don't like it
they
at all.
generally hates each other, like hate each other this season.
Yeah.
Huey's no longer the guy. It's kind of a balance. It's a balance of power. Huey's kind of fighting back and wants to be in control, while Butcher's called in against his will, etc., etc. I don't
Yeah.
love that
And I don't like the fact that uh Huey lies to Starlight.
constantly.
Yeah. And I know he says it's the protector, but she's a big girl.
Oh yeah,
So,
I
but
think
he
that's
doesn't
where
want
it's.
her. Yeah, he doesn't want her to die. So
I think that's where it's going to go. I think this season, like you said, I like that idea of kind of a civil war situation, and I think it's going to end with something like that happening. So we
it's
shall
got to.
see. But I'm going to jump into a couple of things that have been entertaining me otherwise, and then we'll go into our favorite games.
Okay.
The first one being I did go see Tenet with my wife. Our anniversary was this last Friday,
Mhm.
and we went to theaters. And again, second time being in the theater since this whole COVID thing and the theaters reopening. Out of the entire theater, my wife and I were the only ones in it. So I don't think we're breaking any rules or being too crazy because if it was busy, we just flat out wouldn't have gone. So we are still being cautious and playing by the rules. But I assume you've not seen Tenet yet.
Haven't seen it. Apparently, the theater here is a little more busier than yours. Because I had
Well,
friends
you
go
guys
see
have been
it, and
open
they had,
longer. Yeah,
huh?
you guys have been open longer, so that's a possibility for sure.
Okay.
So obviously, this movie was released in 2020, just recently, this last week. It stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, and Elizabeth Debicki. Directed by Christopher Nolan. I don't know the exact number of movie, but I want to guesstimate that it's his eighth, possibly ninth movie that he has directed. And for my money, this movie is by far and away, with absolutely no hesitation, the worst movie I've seen by Christopher Nolan. I am not going to do any crazy spoilers, but basically it deals with an organization that understands a little bit of a bend and break in the space time continuum to some degree to where they can not so much rewind time, but basically they just imagine or think about something that has already happened and they're able to put it back. So in any way, like you shoot a gun, but instead of shooting the gun, you're bringing the bullet back to the gun, um, bringing a gun towards you. I will say this about the movie: there were a couple of really cool fight and action scenes, but I might be stupid, and if I'm not, this movie makes me feel like I'm stupid. My wife and I, on probably no less than six occasions, including the beginning, 30 minutes in, middle, end, everything, turned to each other and flat out said in the theater, "What the hell is going on?" For the life of me, I did not understand anything in this movie.
So when you put out a dynamic like that, I can't like watch it and then be like, "What the hell Jay was talking about? This makes perfect sense." I don't want to be like, "Yeah,
I
James."
want you to. If that's the case, I will say this about the movie. It's entertaining enough to make me sit back and say, I want to see this again because I need to be able to catch up and follow along. I was told when I went and saw Inception that I would be lost and have no idea what's going on in this movie. And I watched it and I was absolutely exhausted after watching Inception because I was concentrating so hard and there wasn't a piece of that movie that confused me even a little. I was sitting there like, okay, so he's going here. That's his name. Okay, so he's going here. Okay, he's diving into his brain. Okay, by the end of it, I was like, I would have got that if I was half asleep. That movie made 100% complete sense to me. There was no confusion at all. This movie makes no fucking sense in any meaning of the word. It's if you look up spoilers online and go through the synopsis, they'll flat out say the more you think about it, the less and less it makes sense. You just have to go with it. Basically, it's dealing with time travel and people are meeting people after they've already been killed or they're it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The biggest offense in this movie, in my opinion, sorry to rant and rave like this, but I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan and I am just blown away by how far up his own ass he seems to be in this scenario. It's you start to feel it after the Batman series, which I'm a huge fan of. Now I'm number one. Batman is my favorite superhero. Huge fan of Batman. Love Batman movies.
Is he a superhero or is he just a hero?
He's super duper. He is super duper.
He's just a rich hero, dude.
You're right. He's just a rich hero, but he is a hero nonetheless. And I'm a huge fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. A huge fan of Memento. Huge fan of Inception. I really liked Interstellar. I didn't see Dunkirk for some reason, but it's on my list of things to watch real soon. So I'm a big Christopher Nolan
When I
fan.
come up, we'll watch it because I haven't seen it either.
That sounds like a really good idea. We'll check that out together. Um, but but like I said, you could start to see it with like Interstellar, where he's starting to maybe even Inception, where he starts to just dig a little deeper into his ass and just starts to just get a little time bendy and weird and warpy and just a little unique. But the one thing I really appreciate about Christopher Nolan is he is producing, directing, writing movies that are unique and different. And Tenet, at the very least, is unique, different. It's something new.
We'll find out because there have been other movies about government organizations that try to correct or fix things in time.
Oh, for sure. But again,
I
in
mean,
this
I'll
movie,
have to watch it. I haven't watched Tenet yet, so
I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying spoilers because I'm not gonna ruin anything for this movie for you.
you'll
But
let
I
it
will
ruin
say
itself.
it's give me someone to connect to. Give me some personality. Give me some semblance of character development that makes me go, I'm rooting for you. There's nothing. It's eye candy fuckery that means nothing by the end of it. To me, I would say at the very best, I would give this movie a blank on our scale.
Damn.
And the only reason I'm giving it a blank and not just garbage is because number one, I've only seen it once. After 3 to 5 more viewings, I might be able to improve my opinion because I might have an idea of what's going on.
That's a long. That's a lot of viewings.
Especially because it's like 2 hours and 40 freaking minutes. It's insane. And then not to mention the fact that by the end of the day, it doesn't.
Doesn't
It's
add up.
crazy. The
It's all
idea of
right.
the movie is basically there's pieces of it going forward and piece of it going backward at the same time, and you don't know what's what, when, where, why, how until you watch the whole movie. And I kept thinking, well, at least by the end it'll tie it together, and by the end I'll understand what's happening, and by the end I'll know what's going on, and by the end I was just as confused as I was when I walked in. So the good thing is my world was going forwards and backwards at the same time while I was walking in and out of the theater because at the end of the day it was just a time sink and my time evaporated into the thin air of Christopher Nolan, and I'm upset with him for what I did. And the Prestige, that's the one that I was leaving out. All the way back to the Prestige is where you could start feeling him just tickling his butthole just a little too much. And I will say that I love the Prestige. I loved Inception. I really liked Interstellar. I love the Batman trilogy. I love uh, Memento. I dig what he does. This movie lost me. Didn't even have me. Didn't even lose me. It couldn't even find me. I'll tell you that. So that's my opinion of it. I have one other that I'll jump into, and I'm going to give you 3 years, okay? And you can pick which one I'm going to talk about because I got to start narrowing some of this stuff.
Years?
Yep, I'm going to give you 3 years, and you get to pick which year I'm going to talk about because I got to start dwindling some of these movies off of my list, or we're going to have a whole episode of just me bitching about movies, and you'll fall asleep because I can tell you start to gloss over. Um, I'll go 1989, 2010, or 2017.
10.
All right, 2010. You might have seen this movie. I'm going to talk about it. It's available now on Netflix. It's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Have you seen this?
No. I
No.
maybe.
All right, so Tucker and Dale versus Evil was released in 2010, starring Tyler Labine, Alan Tudyk, and Contrita Bowden. The two that you might realize more than any of the others are Alan Tudyk of Firefly fame, among many other things. You seem like the kind of guy that would get into the Firefly series.
Nope.
Oh my God, you should watch it. I think it'd be right up your alley. It's very sci-fi
I'm sure
cowboy
it would.
shit.
Would you stop
And then
tearing
we
up
have
shit?
Katrina
Sorry.
Bowden, who is on 30 Rock. She's got a very small role in 30 Rock. But this movie is pretty simple. It's a spin on the old style slasher films. It's basically about Tucker and Dale, who are a couple of hillbillies that buy a cabin in the woods, and they're moving, or not moving, but they're going out on vacation to fix it up, drink some beers, and just do some work to get this cabin just kind of hang out ready. Along the way, you have a group of college students that stumble into their path. They assume that they're
It all
evil
came back. It
murderers.
all
Yeah,
came
so you've
back.
seen this?
Yes.
So they assume and think that they're murderers,
The
but in
kids.
reality, yeah, the kids think that the it's so funny. It's a really funny movie, a funny premise. I think it's more of a comedic and humorous concept than it is an actual laugh out loud movie. But
Yeah.
these college students think that Tucker and Dale are these maniacal murderers, and Tucker and Dale think that these college kids have a suicide pact and they're killing themselves all over their property because they find them accidentally offing themselves with the intentions of rescuing one of their friends that is captured by Tucker and Dale, which in reality they actually were. She was saved by Tucker and Dale.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, for me the movie was incredibly entertaining. It's again not incredibly laugh out loud funny, but the scenarios are extremely humorous. Like there's an instance where they have a wood chipper, and uh, I I can't remember which is which. I'm sorry, but we'll say Dale is throwing lumber into the wood chipper, and then one of the college students runs up to try to like stab him in the back, but trips, and Dale sees him and turns and steps out of his way, and the college student flies headfirst into the wood chipper. So it has some pretty good gore in it. Um, and then he's like trying to save him by pulling his legs out, but he's already been like chipped up, and oh man, and like I said, the scenarios are pretty humorous and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
no. After you started talking about it, it came back to me, and I was like, yeah, yeah. It's a good
so
movie. I liked it. I thought it
I
was
watched
funny.
it just a couple of weeks ago, and it's been on my list to talk about for a while. But I keep running out of time, so I don't get to go over everything because I get a little bit more involved in the actual entertainment side than you do. You start talking about cats or cars or your new flowers that you planted. But Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, if I had to get a ranking on our scale, it is at the very least, I'm gonna say good.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't think it is funny or
I think
uh,
it's funny. It's funny.
no. I'm gonna say it's not funny enough, and it's not gratuitous enough to be
On a step up.
great. Yeah, it's not quite there. If it was a little bit more over the top, and I'm not saying gratuitous in the sexual sense, I'm saying gratuitous in the violence. Again, very violent, very bloody, but I think it could have been a little bit more over the top. I was inspired to watch it because of a podcast that I listened to, as well as because of Piranha Double D that I watched several weeks back. It was just kind of in that same vein, and this one actually succeeds for what it's going for.
Yeah, for where
So
the other ones fail. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm going to give it at least a good.
Okay.
With that being said, John, I think it's time that we jump over to our favorite games of all time. Have you had a chance to prepare a new
Yeah,
favorite game?
this is a game that was on the list that got bumped down because of Pokemon.
Okay, I'm excited to hear it.
Yep, this was on SNES, and it was Aliens 3. And I ended up actually trading it to not GameStop, one of those places. And I got 26 bucks for it because it's one of those like expensive. It's an expensive game now, um, for SNES. But anyhow, it's a side scroller, top down, going up vertical and horizontal on the platform. The weapon dynamic is really great. I love the flamethrower. It's not at all like the movie Aliens 3 where there's one dog alien and you. This one's got several aliens in it. Uh, the eggs in there. I don't know. Like it was a difficult game, but I'm a big Aliens fan, and it wasn't like high uh I don't know, high action like Aliens versus Predator where you've got aliens jumping from left and right and stuff like this. This one, the dog aliens and stuff like that, they'll run across the screen to try to get you, but you can see them coming. You can get out of the way or just decide to mow them down or something like that. It's not constant, not a lot of melee combat, but just making it from one side of the map to the other, or level, I should say, until you find like a queen or mother alien. There's mother aliens in this one, so it's a really great game. I thought the colors were great. They're a little dark, a lot of earth tones.
This is
Um,
side scrolling, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I played it with my twin sister for a long time.
Do you,
We would just play that game.
compared, and we've talked about this previously when you brought up Alien vs Predator for the PC, compared to the action beat 'em up, side scrolling action beat 'em up, just Alien vs Predator, do you think that this game is better than the side scrolling arcade cabinet?
It's a different game. I
Sure.
like it because it's a little slower, maybe. So I like that aspect of it.
And
Again,
also, you have the nostalgia of playing it with your family. So I'm not suggesting that it's not as good of a game. It's obviously one of your favorite games. I'm just curious if it's something I should visit because I loved the Alien vs Predator side-scrolling beat 'em up. I thought that was an amazing game.
so Do you have it? Oh, you have that SNEX
Classic.
weird. Yeah, so you can just go pick it up if you can find it.
It might be on the system. I think I mentioned before I had my brother-in-law download a bunch of games onto there. Half
Oh,
of them I
ROMmed
haven't
it.
even played. Yeah, I just it's sitting over here on the shelf, obviously, but I've had it plugged or I had it plugged in for about a week, and it was more of a collector's item than anything. But yeah, I have like 140 games on it. It might be on there. This week's game that I'm adding, I hope you have played, John. BioShock.
Number one,
Yes.
a
Oh
little
my
bit,
god. Oh my god. You're
a
like
little bit. I haven't dove into it. I didn't even beat Bioshock Infinite,
you
and I
say
like that game.
didn't even
I
beat BioShock Infinite as if it's the first one. It's the third game.
I know, but I have. That's the one I put the most hours in. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. I have played through beat uh okay, I have played through and beat BioShock 1, 2 and 3 all three no, two times. I have beat BioShock Infinite twice, possibly three times. I platinum BioShock Infinite. If I did beat it the third time, it was to get the platinum, but I don't think I actually went through and beat it. I think I just played it up to the point I could get the platinum. The only one that is going to make my list is BioShock 1. It is by far and away the greatest BioShock game, if not one of the greatest games ever made. I don't know if this is going to jade my list a little bit of my top games of all time, but I'm interested to see if it ends up coming out because if we were to put it up against a couple of my other favorites, we'll see. But BioShock was released, I believe, in 2007 for the Xbox 360 and Windows. Um, I played it originally on the PlayStation 3. I want to say I actually played it. I downloaded the demo on the Xbox 360, and for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. And maybe I'm crazy, but I downloaded a demo of BioShock and I played it for about 5 hours, and it felt to me like the demo was never going to end. So I don't know in some capacity if there was some kind of a weird glitch or if the only other thing I could even fathom is that I accidentally bought it not realizing and played through such a large portion of it. But my mindset was that this is a demo. So I was like, man, this demo is going on forever. I didn't buy in for this. So I ended up dipping out and had jaded opinions about the game. Then when it was and again, I'm admitting full well I have no idea what happened with that. But from my memory, I downloaded the demo and played it for 5 hours. It felt like it went on forever. I unlocked like multiple plasmids. It was crazy. Anyway, when it was released on the PS3, finally I decided to give it a full fair shake. Bought it, played through it, absolutely loved it. The storyline is phenomenal. I think if you were to take all of the running gun sections out, it could probably be truncated down into I don't know, about an hour, hour and a half storyline. Um, so it definitely is stretched out, but it is um, almost a first person shooter perfected. The only thing that holds it back in any way, shape, or form are just some of the 2007, 2008 control schemes that keep it a little bit awkward. For instance, you can't dual wield, so you might have a plasmid or you might have a gun in your hand, but you can't wield both. The sequel actually fixes that side, but it gives you a weaker story and a less compelling character. Visuals for that game hold up to this date because it did kind of a interesting, I don't want to say cell shaded, but just an interesting visual style. And I think the other games actually followed that along. It rides a line between horror and action that is unparalleled, and it's very very creepy. It has a lot of scary moments, but it really really nails the action side and keeps you moving. You find yourself working your way through these levels and either harvesting or freeing these little sisters, and along the way building up your skills, making yourself more powerful, and eventually fighting Andrew Ryan and battling for the fate of your freedom and Rapture, which is an underwater city. So the game itself, absolutely amazing. I don't think there's an argument to be had. It's one of the greatest games ever made, but it is very easily one of my favorite games of all time. And I strongly, strongly encourage a person play not only Bioshock, but Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite. Although, if I were to rate them, Bioshock is gaga, Bioshock 2 is good, and Bioshock Infinite is great.
Hmm.
So, what else are you looking up, John? What do you got going on?
No, I was just looking up retro pies for Alien
So
3.
you're trying to figure out how to get it so we can play it?
Well, I was looking if it was on on PC, and I was like,
That's exactly what you were doing.
yeah, I did. I was like,
We'll play through it.
yeah.
You figure it out. We'll get it going. John, this has been episode 11 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. How you
What are you trying to
feeling?
say? What are you trying to say about that episode 11?
I'm trying to say that we're moving on and moving out. Give us a little bit of advice, John.
Moving on. See you later, Madison. Yeah, I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
How about this? If you don't have any advice,
Buy some.
there you go. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week. See you later.
Nah.